Welcome to our live cast. We have some updates that we're going to be sharing, and then we're just going to go into Q&A and answer your questions. A reminder, you got to start filing your I-6913 medical with your green card. If not, your case will be rejected. That is for all green card filing, so make sure that you are doing that. Also, we've been getting a lot of questions about the skills list. The Department of State came out with a new update on the skills list, and a lot of people are getting confused because they think my country is not on the skills list anymore. Can I go ahead and apply for a green card or for a change of status? Well, it depends. If you are only subject for the skills list, then you can go ahead and apply for adjustment status or change of status. But if you got government funding, you got another reason that made you subjected to the 2-year home residency requirement, you're still subjected. For instance, I had a consultation with someone who's from Egypt, brilliant, many of your J1 waivers are brilliant. They had government funding and they were wondering, well, Egypt's no longer on the skills list, so am I subject? Yes, that person is still subject because they got government funding. But let's say you're Indian and the only reason was you were subject to the 2-year rule was because of the skills list, then you would no longer be subjected. For the 2-year home residency requirement, if I come in on a visitor's visa, is that time going to be subjected? First of all, let's back up. If you are on the J1 program and you have the 2-year home residency requirement, you have to go back for 2 years or you have to apply for a waiver. You could apply for a no objection waiver if you have government funding. And you need to look at other types of waivers, exceptional hardship waiver, where you have a qualifying relative, such as a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident spouse, or a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident child, or a persecution waiver, or if you're a physician, a Conrad 30 waiver or HHS waiver. For those of you who want to try to fulfill the 2-year home residency requirement, if you come back on a visitor's visa, the time you're in the United States will not count. You have to spend the time back in your home country. After you fulfilled those 2 years, then you could apply for a marriage-based green card, or you could apply for a change of status, one of those options. What do you do if the fiancé visa marriage-based green card got denied? You might be able to apply for I-601 waiver in that situation to overcome the grounds of inadmissibility, depending upon what that ground was that made you have that denial. So I-601 can overcome, for instance, fraud or misrepresentation. It could overcome a 10-year bar if you've overstayed. It could overcome certain types of crimes as well. So we have a question here about the interested government agency waiver. That's another type of J1 hardship waiver. Those waivers are typically taking about 1 year to 2 years. I would expect that amount of time. And just to go over the processing times in general, for different types of waivers, exceptional hardship waiver is taking about 2 years. It's about 18 months with USCIS. And then it could take anywhere from 1 month to 1 year with the Department of State. We're seeing Department of State speed up with hardship waivers. We're getting some approvals with the Department of State within a couple of months. So on average, give it about 2 years. If you're applying for a no objection waiver, allow 6 months to 1 year. Persecution waivers are the same as exceptional hardship waivers. They were faster, but they are taking now about the same amount of time. Maybe the Department of State might be a little bit faster. I had my immigrant visa interview and waiver is now needed for a 10-year ban. How long is the wait? If you're applying for an I-601 waiver, that is taking 30 months. So I'm assuming you're outside the country because you had the interview. We have also been able to get those expedited for certain types of reasons as well. The best practice is to try to apply for the I-601A before you leave for the United States and have the interview outside the United States. That is taking about 43 plus months. Both of those, everything is long, and this all happened since COVID. I expect things to get even longer with Trump. The sooner you apply, the better. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. We will be here next week. Bye for now.